Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio. This is July 26, 2023, and we're on episode 517. I'm one of your hosts, Adriel.
I'm another host, Kyle.
And I'm the last host, Kelly.
See how I did that backwards there? I did the date, then the
Yeah.
I saw that.
number.
Heard that.
Yeah.
Saw
Trying
and heard.
to
We
follow
got
your
mix
lead.
it up.
Yeah, mixing it up. That's what I was going for. Yeah, why not? Mix it up.
Don't we do that every week?
Mix it up?
We mix it up.
Yeah.
We're great at mixing it up. Yeah, that's pretty much all
We
we do.
mix it up because we usually screw it up. So-
Mhm. All right.
Yeah.
Why don't we get into what we did in guns? I'm going to start us off.
Cool.
Because me.
Me.
I ordered some stuff last week. It's been coming in. So I got some reloading stuff from Rusty Woods Trading, as well as a couple of cards about Trudeau. I don't think those guys are fans.
No.
No. They sent some playing cards that were not the most favorable about them. Anyways, I also got a new set of eyewear. So I've had the same set for more than 4 years, and there are these Aegis Echoes. I really like these ones.
Oh, I do.
They're just like wearing out, like the little
Yeah.
tips are worn,
Oh, yeah.
and they're getting scratched up. It's 4 years of hard use. I don't baby them. I take them, I throw them back into the case, and that's it. So and they're not that expensive too. They're like $60-$70. So
What'd you
I
get as
thought
a replacement?
the exact same thing, but
Oh,
look, they improved. Look at the case. The old one's a soft floppy case that crushes, and look at this nice
Oh,
hard one that
it's
they
hard
sold.
Oh,
case.
yeah.
Yeah, upgraded,
and
right?
it is even smaller as well.
It's smaller. It's a hard case. I'm liking it so far. I opted
What are the
for
lenses?
clear and tinted was what I opted for.
Oh,
I got like the
Yeah.
tan style there
No.
too. No, not a fan.
No.
I am though.
Let me see. Again. Let me see again.
Okay, I'm gonna put those safety glasses back down. Here, let me put them on properly. I need to bend these nose pieces because right now it's sitting quite high on my face. Here, let's just do that now. There we go. Now they're normal.
That's better.
Yep. There's that's
Oh.
not the only thing that they changed. They changed the lens a little bit too. So
What
the other
happened?
one here is this is gray. It's black. It's a black
Yeah.
tint. But if you guys both have Aegis Echoes, you'll recognize that there's like a little cutout that they put on that there.
Mhm.
It's the same otherwise. But they had to put the little cutout. And it comes with the little like ear band that you put across the back that I'm putting in the garbage at this moment. And a no fog cloth and a sticker and stuff that I'm also going to take out of there because I don't want any of that crap in there.
No fog
like-
is good.
Yeah.
I put that just to the side there, but I don't really have problems with these things fogging. They've got such good like
Gaps.
breathing on the
Yeah.
on the top there and on the bottom that I don't really have problems with them fogging, and I guess I could just wipe it with that cloth afterwards. But the other thing I like to do with my eyeglass case is to put the glasses and the extra one in there. But also I like to throw in a bunch of earplugs.
Oh,
This
okay.
is like backup to
Okay, true.
what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, I got earplugs in there. I'm good. There's always earplugs in the iPro containers, so I like to throw those in. But these were
what-
like $70 from 911 Supply.
Okay. So you're
like
reading my mind. I was just going to ask, where'd you get them from and how much?
I can tell you exactly how much. 70 something. I'm really
not
liking
exactly.
this hard case though. Really liking these. I'm looking. Just give me a second. 911 Supply. Your order has been shipped. Blah 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 blah. How much did I pay you guys? How about that much? 11. 11 Supply. God, why is it so slow? $79.97. That's what I paid, plus $10 shipping. This is just a place in Calgary here, so it was just
And
shipped pretty
taxes.
quick. And taxes, okay, everything in $94.47.
So it's still under $100.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Which, I mean, if all you get is the $10 like cheapies, like that sounds like a lot. But those $10 cheapies, they scratch pretty quickly, and I find the fog protection on them isn't that good. And the most important, the biggest reason why I have these instead of like just the cheapies, because I don't actually mind the cheapies that much, is these have very thin right on the temple there. They're incredibly thin. So you put ear pro over top of that. It doesn't push on your temple. You don't get that pressure point, which I find with a lot of the bulkier eye pro out there. So quite happy about these. Very happy about the new style case. Another 4 or 5 years in this, I guess, right? I mean, the old ones are still working. They're just looking a little bit ratched, and they're not quite as clear as they were when I got them. But they can go to my kids.
Yeah.
I got suckered into a Wild Wednesday deal today.
Wild Wednesday. What did you buy?
It's kind of normal for me, isn't it?
Yeah.
I got suckered by something that was too good of a deal. Might end up being crap, but Cabela's has their Covenant AR 1-8 BBC rifle scope on for $219. It comes with the mount. It comes with like this pepper mount here. So I ordered one of those.
Did you
if anyone's watching
our website?
I sure did. If everyone's watching, you don't just go straight there. You go to slamfireradio.com,
click on the Cabela's link.
Click on the link on the side there, and then you go buy whatever you got to buy, and then, get a little kickback from it. But I was curious. Because like this is like by far the cheapest 1 to whatever, 1 to 4, 1 to 6, 1 to 8. I don't see there is another one out there that's that price. Tony's saying doesn't have the Vortex warranty though. Yeah, but for the cost of the Vortex, I gotta buy 4 of these things. Oh, 3 of these things. The Vortex Strike Eagle 1 to 8 is $600, whereas this thing is $219 with the mount. The Vortex doesn't come with the mount. You gotta buy your own. Holy shit, mount. It's probably not even a pepper.
I was just gonna say it's probably
it could be the pepper has both of those. The burst pepper has both of those though.
Let's say, is that QD? No, it's not.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I don't want QD on my
No, I don't either.
It comes with a throw lever.
Oh really?
Ooh.
Serious?
The value's just going further up.
A scope cover that I'm going to throw in the garbage, and a scope lens cloth that I'm also going to throw in the garbage. Probably going to throw most of that stuff in the garbage.
Well,
anyways,
Tony, you wouldn't slam it into the door every day. Come on.
He can if he wants to.
He can.
It's his right as a consumer of a product that has a lifetime, no questions asked warranty. Slam it into the door. Yeah, if I slam this into the door, I will.
Sure.
I'll just have to go buy another one, I guess. I don't actually need this scope. It was just the price was so low, and I haven't seen these on the market that I'm just like, gotta get it. But and then this weekend, I've got a 3-gun match that I'm going to be MDing. That's going to be at Sherwood Park.
Oh, really?
I have to. Are we on YouTube tonight? We're not.
No, we are not.
I have to. Well, I didn't know if Tom was going to show a gun or not. That's why I did it. But I gotta put an optic on this thing, unless I go irons. But no.
You do usually shoot limited, so
red dot. I'm gonna throw a red dot on there, I think, and maybe a break.
Why don't you throw Cabela's Covenant on there?
I don't know if it'll be here on time. Like. That match is on Saturday. I have no optic on this thing, which means it's not sighted in. I'm going to need to put an optic on this thing and go shoot it either tomorrow night or Friday night so that it's sighted in so I can shoot it at a match.
Fair enough.
Hopefully it runs.
I hope so yeah.
Yeah,
but that's it for me. What about you, Kelly?
What did I do? Last weekend, I spent the weekend at the Ontario Gunny Girl Calendar, CCFR Gunny Girl Calendar shoot. So we did the photo shoot, that is, not the actual shoot. So we took the photos for the Ontario portion. So a bunch of ladies from all over Ontario, Quebec, etc., came to Ontario and spent it. Had a lot of guns. Had a lot of fun. Went to the range. Also, it was lots of fun. Hung out with, the women's team. Got some new swag. By the way, if you go to the CCFR website, you can see women's program. and it's different color, so it's pink and it's silver. Yeah, go and do that because all the money goes to the women's program as well. So, and I also have a T-shirt. There you go. With that on this. So, what else did I do? Oh yeah, so I have signed up for an IPSC match that's going to be held on the 12th of August. Well, technically it was on the end of September, but they changed it to the 12th of August, and I volunteered to also work the match as well. So that'll be a lot of fun. This weekend, I'm going to be doing a maple seed at Lower Trent Valley, which is near Trenton, Ontario. Going to do that on the Saturday. And then on the Sunday, we're doing an intake for FRPC, which is my local range. So we brought in, I believe, 25 members recently, so I'm not sure. It might even actually open up the wait list. So if that does, watch for it, and you can sign up for FRPC. I think this is actually the third or fourth new member intake, so we're trying to get through our wait list, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, I got a bunch of stuff happening. I also I procrastinated, and I'm not going to be in the antlerless deer, so the doe tag draw. So, but I've arranged actually to have a hunting trip. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So that's going to be happening the second week of November. That's it. That's it for me. What about you, El Jefe?
Well, we went up to Roswell to shoot their USPSA match on Saturday, and I'm a little embarrassed to say this, actually a lot embarrassed, but I had a very amateur moment. So we get up there, say hi to everybody, get checked in, then go back to the truck to get our stuff ready and drop the tailgate and start pulling stuff out. And I realized that I left both our gun belts at home.
Oh no!
Pants it is.
So for me, it would have been okay, except for it's an all classifier match, so I'm not going to go shoot that with just mag change out of my pocket. But with Crystal, her holster and mag pouches stay attached to her belt. So yeah, we stuck around. I ended up helping RO for the day, but we did not end up getting any shooting done. Tony's asking, is the truck fixed yet? No, but it is half tore apart, waiting on parts and a couple tools to finish tearing it apart and start putting it back together. It is a little worse than I was hoping, but it was exactly what I thought might happen. So timing chain's gone, and I lost one valve on one of the heads, so I do gotta pull the head and replace valve and valve spring and all that fun stuff.
You have a lot of challenges with trucks, don't you?
Apparently. Yeah.
I don't mean to laugh, but you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dodge Hemis. Screw them. Mm-hmm. This one was a Ford. I finally gave Ford a shot again, and well, here we are.
What's
you
up
put a lot of miles on them, though,
GMC.
right?
Yeah,
usually I do. The Ford doesn't. I wouldn't say has a lot. A Cummins, yes, I've had a Cummins before. Would love it, but I wasn't spending that kind of money at the time. Cummins would be awesome. But yeah, so that's the truck situation. Hopefully we get the parts in, and that's all that's wrong with it, and I can get it back together this weekend. But otherwise, I do have a steel match on Saturday morning. Gotta go shoot, and it's only 15 minutes away from the house. So if I forget belts again, I can just come home and grab them.
Convenient.
Convenient.
You're not gonna.
I couldn't believe I did that. But so yeah, we got that, and then next weekend is Rocky Mountain 3-gun up in Raton, New Mexico, and I'm on the wait list for it, but I made a phone call today, and I'm going to end up going up and working the match.
Nice.
So it'll be cheaper because while I'm working, my room is paid for, I get meals, and my match is paid for, and I just got to go up there a couple days earlier to actually shoot the match. And
awesome.
Yeah, so that's at the NRA Whittington Center just outside of Raton. So I'm actually really looking forward to checking out that match. That's supposed to be a really renowned match, a big natural terrain match with like 9 stages. So
Looking
next
forward
week
to
I
hearing
may-
all about it.
and we will
wanna
see
hear
next
all about
Wednesday if I'm actually on the show, because I will be shooting the staff match, probably 5 stages on Wednesday, and I have to see what the Wi-Fi is like up
Okay.
there. And then so yeah, I'll shoot Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday I will be ROing. So yeah. And other than that, it's just spend the weekend. I got sling figured out on my rifle, I think, so I'll spend some time just kind of playing around with that, because natural terrain, I was speaking with the match director today, so be some running, lots of running, but yeah, that's it for me.
Excellent.
Cool. Let's get into upcoming events. For upcoming events, join a Maple Seed. We got some of them on the website. ORA events coming up on Practice Score. There's some 3-gun matches that are opening or closing, as it were, depending on where you are. So take a look at that. Heading over to the news, there was a cabinet shakeup with the Liberal Party. I don't know if this actually affects us or not. I'm pretty sure it doesn't.
No, I don't think so.
So Dominic LeBlanc. He's our new.
It's just another fall person.
Yep, he's our new public safety minister. So we'll see what happens with him. He's from Nouveau-Brunswick, from Shediac, which means that all of his constituents are hunters.
But he's like a politician through and through, right?
He is a
Born in-
politician through and through, and his
from Ottawa, babysat Justin Trudeau when he was a kid. No lie.
So his dad, Romeo LeBlanc, was Governor General. Yeah. So
They couldn't find anyone like who was actually qualified. They just had to keep getting the kids of the last guys. Is that where we're at?
serious. Oh my
I think that
goodness.
feels like that's where we're at.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that
Well,
called nepotism? Isn't that when like they just end up there time and time again?
that is correct. So we'll see what happens with him. But again, he does know where his butter is bread. No, his bread is buttered.
Bread is buttered.
Yes.
Justin Trudeau butters his bread now.
It's
Used to be the
correct.
other way around when he was a babysitter. Now it's this way.
Yeah.
So cabinet shuffle. Well, let's just say the last public safety minister, he had some challenges.
The last two have had some
The last
challenges.
two.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of the last two, so did you see Bill Blair has been given? He's the minister of
D&D.
Yes, like
Woo.
I'm going.
It's
Oh
a high
dear.
profile assignment. I think the gun one's tricky. Like getting in front of guns is tricky, and there's just so many dumb things you can say because no one seems to bother to want to actually understand the issue. They're just using it for politics, right? So
Yeah.
it's a tough one. And I understand why they'd be trying to give it to someone who's better. Substitute on player was saying 12 gauge lady, please. No, we didn't get her for the gun one. That was the 20, not the 22 caliber, the 22 gauge lady who said that she goes hunting all the time. We're not gonna get her. No, we got this other guy.
No.
With the toupee. Yeah. Anywho,
Do you really think it is? Come on.
I don't know. I was looking at his Wikipedia page and it's sus.
Well,
Like the guy's face looks like he's old, and the rest for some reason does not.
wonder how
So
old the pictures were.
look at his Wikipedia page. Okay, I'm pulling this up on a screen. 1 second.
Well, he
Present
recently
screen.
went through some, chemotherapy stuff. So
But this is like an old dude, and that's like
Yeah.
like I don't even think that's dyed. I think that's a wig. Anyways,
at
that
least it
doesn't
wasn't
affect his-
Dan. You think? So, yeah.
I'm
So
off.
he's gonna have to look at the Chinese influence. He's gonna have to look at the RCMP screwing up in Nova Scotia. He's gonna have to look at
I guess I don't think so. I think this whole shuffle
Federal
is just because the
legislation.
Liberals are like way behind right now. They're 10 points behind the next election. Like they have to get rid of some dead weight. And
Well,
Marco was dead weight. He was lying about everything. He couldn't defend his position without lying. So they had to get someone who's a better liar in front of this whole thing. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
They're losing. They gotta move out the people who have been like caught lying too often.
I'm
But it's
gonna
just a
just
revolving
not
door.
no comment.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed
They'll
to.
just do like Bill Blair, be like, "Oh, sorry, Blue, you kept getting caught in lies. We'll move you over here, and then we'll move you back to this other thing, and just like just a hot potato." Speaking of, not speaking of hot potato. Speaking of like something you actually want, we're giving away an SBI Lynx 180 match lower. Giving it away next week. This is your
Woohoo!
last week to get in to get a chance to win this thing.
Somebody just sent us a donation. Or not us, the CCFR.
CCFR.
Literally, as you were chatting, we were talking about. Yeah. So get on that, Richard. Richard Lee, thank you.
Very cool. Yep. Anyways, if you want a chance to win one of those things, donate to the CCFR. Send a screenshot of your donations. For every $20, we'll give you one entry. And for a no money entry, no skill required, except for taking a selfie on Instagram with a gun and tagging Slamfire Radio's Instagram. I guess that is skill testing, because usually the skill testing questions like,
how do I tag you? Is it hashtag or is it at?
I'm gonna at you. That was a message. You added to my story. You were supposed to. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. Don't post your story. Post it to your main page. Yeah.
But for everybody who has done that, good job.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. SBI probably appreciates it. Everyone's happy.
Richard is now on the spreadsheet.
Richard's
excellent.
On the sheet.
And if you do go to the CCFR and make a donation, don't forget to stop by the store and purchase the women's apparel. Richard, you're no longer my favorite.
That's just how she always sounds. Anyways, new gun stuff.
Adriel, you're no longer my favorite either.
New gun stuff is brought to you by Bullseye North, new boomstick. Bullseye North is Canada's shooting superstore and a proud supporter of the CCFR with a wide selection of guns and top trending gear for any shooter. They got free shipping over $200. Some exclusions apply. Subscribe to their weekly newsletter to get first access to the hottest deals. And I didn't put their hottest deal in there. I didn't put in their hottest deal by far, because this other deal is so hot that I forgot to put it in. But this is one that I would be really looking at. Yeah, like, wait. Where's the share screen? It's the Hornady Defense Critical Defense Ammo 410 bore.
Ooh.
It's a 41 caliber slug over 235 caliber balls, I think. Yes. Yeah, each 35 caliber ball is made of high antimony cold swaged lead. So it's a self-defense 410. They have self-defense 410 ammo.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Small but effective.
Yes.
Small but effective. Well, what if you were going grouse hunting and you wanted, like, just in case, to have something for like a bear charging you or something like that? That would do it.
I don't know if I'd do that for bear defense.
What are you going to use in a 410 for bear defense?
But why would you have it if you're going?
I wouldn't have a 410 for bear defense.
Okay, but let's. The situation is you're grouse hunting with a 410, and you want something that you can just swap
then
into that.
If that's all you have, then yes, okay.
Okay. Now you can use the 7.5 shot if you want.
You better have a few of those kicking around.
Very fast with the reloads.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This next one I have here is a leak on the new Trigicon RMRs. So they have the RMR HDs that are coming out. Yes, dog, I agree. They are. Ooh. There's the new Trigicon RMR. So it looks pretty good. Forward mounted light sensor, so it can change the brightness of it based on what it sees in front, which is pretty cool. And there's the new RCR, the closed emitter design that is boxed out. It's the new evolution of it, designed to be as durable as the legendary ACOG. Okay, all right, sounds good. Anyways, they've got those. The next one here, I don't have a screen cap of this, but you remember those BCL Glock pistols that were supposed to be released in October of last year? They're getting close.
Okay.
They're getting close. They had a picture on their Instagram of them shooting one in the like a raw metal one though at the range.
So how does that work? Then like they've
sold them with serial numbers, pre-sold.
So they just sold a bunch of serial numbers and then they built the pistol later?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly what happened. Yeah. I'm just gonna find them now, just so that so we're not talking about nothing without an actual picture. And there's the PX-19.
I mean, I like the mag they got sticking out of there.
Yeah, that looks cool. Yeah.
Yep.
But that is not a finished. That is not a finished handgun.
That is not. No.
Nope.
That is a in the white, all freshly machined, no anodizing or paint or any of that kind of stuff. Not tested with any of that kind of stuff. Just plain in the white. So
see, I don't remember what they were. The whole specs on it were, but I'm liking the slide, like with the light and slide up front, and then the optics ready.
Yeah.
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 Or are they just pulling Glock slides and they just built a metal frame for it?
No, I'm pretty sure it's their slide as well.
Yeah, I thought it was.
But it's a year behind schedule, so.
Yeah, wasn't it supposed to be out in October-ish?
Yeah. 20.
Well, this is BCL, so
that is correct.
Yeah, so they'll be delayed. The first batch will blow up, and then
eventually they'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we know that. We already know that.
No, we don't know that.
No, there could be some people listening that don't know that.
BCL.
True. Tanya's saying that Penny is on the radio. Who's Penny?
Penny is my dog.
Oh.
And Tanya's actually my friend from work. She's my coworker. Thanks for listening, Tanya. But Penny is Balkan. And yeah, anybody want a dog?
No.
Just asking.
I'm all dogged up.
Both are
all dogged up.
Not in our apartment. Nope.
Springfield has the new Model 2020 series. That is not the rifle I was expecting. Where is the 22 version? I sent you guys this. Oh, it's the 2020 rimfire. Okay, so they have a centerfire version.
Okay.
And they've got a rim. I only saw the rimfire one, but I guess they have more.
The centerfire almost look like Macmillan stocks. Almost.
They do look like I'd expect something because they're $2,000. Let's see. The 2020 Waypoint. Blah blah blah. Carbon fiber stock, premium carbon fiber stock. Option of a steel or carbon fiber barrel with an impressive, well, not impressive these days, but 0.75 MOA accuracy guarantee. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
REM 700 pattern action. Oh, another REM 700 pattern bolt action rifle. We need one of those. We didn't have enough of those. Yeah.
There was a shortage.
There was a shortage. Trigger Tech trigger. Well, at least their components are good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the QD mounts. 5 QD mounts.
Of them, yeah.
Actually, no. I like it. Adjustable cheek comb. Yeah, that's practical. It's a $2,000 hunting rifle, though. Custom painted camo. Hand painted? What? Are they out of their minds? Why would you hand paint? Okay, whatever. Packmeyer deceleration, AICS magazine. It is, yeah. Interesting. Anyways, what I wanted to show you guys was the rimfire versions, because they look cool too, but they used a 1022 magazine. I thought that was pretty neat. I like the rail. Look at the rail too.
Yeah, I like that.
Interrupted at the top there where the action is there. 60-degree bolt.
Look at the size of it.
What is it? Small? Big?
Big.
Yeah, full size.
Bolt handle.
full size 22 bolt
Mhm.
action that takes 10-22 mags. That isn't the Ruger, whatever they call theirs there. But I think this is price competitive with that thing.
How much?
Because this one said 400 to 1,000, I believe, on the way in.
Mm,
Eh.
Okay.
What's the Ruger one cost?
Is it hand painted though?
No, you can hand paint it with some spray paint though, very easily. No, this is like, look, 434 USD. That's decent.
Yeah.
Take a sponge and a spray can. You can get a similar paint job as what's on the centerfire rifles.
The $1,000 one is like AAA walnut. The 839 is AA walnut. 690 for grade A walnut. But if you want just like a regular, like a black synthetic stock, it's $400 US. I don't know what it's going to be when it gets here, but I'm pretty sure the Ruger bolt action 22. I can't remember what they call it. 7722. What do they call their 22? Or is it just the Ruger American that takes them? I don't know. Anyways,
No.
1-inch accuracy guarantee for a 3-shot group at 50 yards. That's not that good.
No, that's it's a little underwhelming.
Yeah.
That's very underwhelming. With quality match grade factory ammunition in the hands. Well, I don't know how you're gonna get reloaded ammunition, but
Tony, that's like 2 MOA.
Yeah, it's 2.
yeah, that's 2 MOA because that's a 1-inch guarantee at 50
50.
yards. Yeah.
It's 2.
That
Jeez.
mag release, extended mag release, that looks like the standard Ruger one they're selling these days at the 1022 as well.
Yeah, it is.
Huh. I wonder if they're like really sandbagging this 1-inch and it's actually like half an inch most of the time. It's got to be because of bolt action 22. It's got to be better than that. Maybe it isn't. Anyways,
It was extra windy that day.
Probably what it was. Okay, why don't we get on to the main topic? And welcome back to you've been on to before, Tom, right? Have you been on before?
Not in
feel
this
like you
new
have.
format.
Not in
Tom.
this new format.
Do you not have
Okay.
your camera on?
I don't, because I don't have a fancy background and I'm in a dark dungeon of the basement.
Oh, we want
I
to
can
see your
turn it
dark
on.
dungeon. That would be cool if we could see your dark dungeon. I'm in a dark dungeon too. Got cooler stuff on the walls though. Anyways, Tom is a maple seed shoot boss, accomplished maple seed shoot boss,
Accomplished.
storied even, and like shooting stuff. And one of the topics, actually, I think you were on Discord there, and you were mentioning like we should talk about AR chamberings because you've dabbled quite a bit in the alternatives to the 5.56, the dark side of the AR chamberings. Kyle, Kelly, have either of you dabbled in the alternative lifestyles of the other chamberings for AR?
Not yet, but now that I am living in the land of the free, I might go experiment
Okay.
a little bit.
Like,
You might be a bit curious. Yeah.
Yeah.
yes. Yes.
Tom, you've explored the most in this area.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's
So-
talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't find this. It's not letting me turn on my camera now, but that could be my computer is my Mac, and Macs are weird. But anyway, with regards to chamberings, I sort of went down this path because back in the good old days, there were some modern sporting rifle non-restricted alternatives, and I thought it would be great to go hunting with one of these.
Mhm.
But of course, in Alberta, you need 0.24, you need a cartridge of diameter 0.24 inches or greater, which rules out 223.
Mhm.
And I guess the beauty of Stoner's design with the whole modern sporting rifle thing is it's very easy to swap out barrels and parts and all sorts of things, right? It's kind of described as the grown-ups Lego. So I went down that rabbit hole and I said, okay, so what can I do with an AR? What are the limitations to get one that I could hunt with, kind of a thing? And that went, initially I looked at 7.62 by 39, then 6.5 Grendel. I did the math and the research behind some of the thumper calibers, if you're familiar with the thumper concept. And currently right now I'm running a 6x45. So it's a 223 blown out to 6mm. You just run it through a 6.5x45 resizing die, your 223 brass. And then you just, seat your bullets. So I'm not too sure how well that would work for deer hunting. I might give it a try and see how it goes.
It'll work fine. Deer aren't invincible. I don't think the 22 caliber restriction is even reasonable because a 223 will do fine as long as using like a premium soft point bullet or a copper bullet, even better.
Yeah.
They do just fine. I've got a buddy of mine in Manitoba who hunts with his WK 180 every year, and they don't have caliber restrictions there. So he shoots his deer every year with just a 223, and they all drop dead right there. So
yeah, and like I don't shoot deer much past 150, 200 yards or meters. So I think as long as I'm mindful of that distance, because what is it now with the 6x45, I think I'll probably settle on an 80 grain Barnes TTSX, and that's running at around 2,600 feet per second. And I think that loses, I think it's about 150 meters or so is where you hit that 1,000 foot-pounds of energy they say you need for deer.
Got it. Yeah. And with a copper bullet, that's you can go faster and still survive. The bullet will not explode if it hits a shoulder or something like that. It'll
something like that. Yeah. I was more worried about penetration than anything, but that's where I'm at today. Last year I tried 6.5 Grendel in an MRA Renegade, and the biggest problem I had was, so the drawback with these straight pull type sporting rifles, MSRs, is they lack primary extraction. So it's basically you just yarding back on the bolt to get that cartridge out. There's no, when you have a bolt action rifle, that first turn, that's your primary extraction. It cams it out for you.
Yeah.
And so the problem I had was with the 6.5 Grendel, it's basically, there's no taper to the body. It's basically just straight. And sometimes I would have to either mortar the rifle or I would have to do the old kickstart. So collapse the butt, put the butt on the ground, kick the charging handle with my foot, and that would get the brass out, which, not practical at all.
And that's because it's like a big wide case with straight walls, lots to grip on the chamber wall and lots to hold on.
Yeah. Well, and I emailed Maple or MRA about it, and they said, oh yeah, we've done this lots, no problem. And so they gave me some tips, so I tried like polishing the chamber. I improved the extractor, the little extractor hooky thingy. All that kind of stuff, and still no joy. It still just didn't work, and I eventually just gave up on it. And then I asked the guys over at Spectre Ballistics, what did you guys do when you tried this in your straight pull carbines? And they reported the same results, that with Grendel it was always a hard extraction. 7.62 by 39 doesn't have this problem because it does have a nice taper on the body. So it can come out much nicer.
But there's some other downsides to using like a 7.62 by 39 case, right? Like if you go that way, like the case head's quite large for an AR. Now your bolt lugs are quite thin. Your extractor doesn't really have as much meat on it either anymore.
Yeah, 100%. So when you're looking at a cartridge or an alternative, your best bet is to stick with the same case head as a 223. Because as you pointed out, you have to, when they manufacture the bolts for like the 7.62 by 39 ARs, this was really a problem in the early days, was they had to remove so much material to accommodate that larger case head. The bolts were always breaking. So it was kind of the rule of thumb of, if you're doing 7.62 by 39 in an AR-15, have an extra bolt because it will break and it will fail.
I saw it.
I don't know what they did differently. Like I never had that, because the Grendel has the same case head as 7.62 by 39. But it's a different bolt in an AR-15 because of Grendel reasons and Alexander Arms being weird and proprietary.
You've got to use a different magazine with 6.5 Grendel too, don't you?
It's a different follower. So you can't use a 223 follower. You have to get a special one. It gets down to, the case is a little bit different. I haven't tried 223 cases because I happen to just, all of the 6.5 Grendel stuff I have, it literally kind of just fell into my lap. A person who likes to see other people spend money told me that, oh, look, there's a 6.5 Grendel barrel on sale. And then a quick Google, and I found, and here's a bolt. And here happens to be a deal on some 6.5 Grendel magazines on Gun Nuts. And this place had dies in store and in stock. And, there were a couple of guys here in Edmonton that, and they're selling 6.5 Grendel brass. It was just like, the only thing I need to do is go out and buy some appropriate 6.5 millimeter projectiles.
What weight of bullet are you running with those? Probably pretty lightweight.
I tried everything from 85 grain to 123 grain. And regardless of the projectile and regardless of the powder behind it, I would eventually run into hard extraction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And but the only thing I could have tried maybe different would be, I don't know, giving the brass a nice massage before loading it in the magazine so it's all soft and supple for that extraction. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. You
I
can't.
I like the 6.5 Grendel cartridge. It seems like it has a lot of promise, and I'm willing to bet if you put that into an ATRS or the non-restricted rifles, I bet you that thing would run like a champ.
Inside like a WK or something like that, maybe.
Yeah. Basically, where you have that gas to help you with to do the primary extraction for you, right?
Did you think of any of the other hunting appropriate cartridges, like 300 Blackout or 300 Hammer, or like Trevor back in the day had made a 7.62 by 40? I think he had made.
Yeah, I looked at that WT 7.62 by 40 WT.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of seemed like a cartridge that was going to die. Like it was a neat idea by Wilson Tactical, and it was going to die because there was just no point to it.
Well, they upgraded it. The 300 Hammer is their upgrade.
Is the upgraded? Yeah.
Yeah, that one's faster.
Yeah, 300 Blackout, that's a popular one, and it's available. And the reason I didn't do that, I didn't go with that, was because I have a 6.5 Swede, and I figured any projectiles I had left over from my Grendel experiment, I could put in my Swede if I stuck to the heavier end, because sort of the lighter end of the Swede rounds are 120 in there. So I'm like, great, I'm not going to waste components. And then as well with 300 Blackout, and this is probably just my own bias, but it just seems like a cartridge that is best suited if you are in a place where you can use suppressors.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Right. So, and we can't do that here. So, yeah, it's not to say I won't try it somewhere down the road, but it's lower on my list of things to try.
While I was doing the research for today's show, just so I could had some to talk about, the 300 Hammer looked like the most interesting to me.
It is, yeah. That one looks the most promising.
It's got way more stank than the Blackout. 300 FPS faster than the Blackout, so it's got some haul to it.
Well, that Blackout's slow too. I mean, you're lobbing rounds out there.
Well, they have the subsonic rounds for the Blackout, and then they have the lighter supersonic ones. But even those lighter supersonic ones aren't super fast, whereas that Hammer's got like a little bit more case to it.
Yeah, and it's nice because you're throwing like that 30 cal bullet down range, so a bigger hole makes animal bleed more.
And there's more of them. They're cheap. Everyone's got them.
Yeah. The danger with 300 Blackout that I don't like about it, though, and I actually talked to one guy once who had this happen to him. If you have 223 rifles and you mix and match, that's sad trombone noises.
It works one way. Doesn't work the other way.
It will once.
Once.
You get that long spaghetti bullet that comes out the end or stays in the barrel. Yeah.
Yeah. But and then there was there's actually a lot of cartridges out there. If you're not hung up on hunting, there's a lot of cartridges for the AR platform. Really, the things you have to look out for would be the bolt face. Can you use a standard AR bolt?
Mm-hmm.
The barrel. Can you get that barrel and that cartridge here in Canada? In the States, no problems. But here in Canada, that's an issue. And then the magazines. Do you have to replace the followers, or do you need a whole new magazine, or that kind of a thing? And then the thing to keep in mind when you're reloading is because you have, what's the overall length for an AR mag? 2.75 inches or something like that?
Yeah, 2.7 something, yeah.
You have that. And so that's a thing to consider, especially if you're like in my case with the 6.5 by 45, the heavier bullets, the 90s and the 95 grains, they're long.
Mm-hmm.
And so much of them I have to seat in the magazine. It eats away from powder capacity. Right. So if in a bolt action rifle, it might actually be a pretty sweet shooter. I don't know, but that's not the road I went down.
Yeah. There's a bunch of 223s. So there's some 20 cal ones, some 223 cal ones. But I think once you get into those really big ones, that's where you run into the weird rebated rims and that kind of thing, where the rim's smaller than the body of the case. I think those ones are.
The 450 Bushmaster has me interested. I might try that next year or the year after. The thumper concept seems interesting to me, and the thumper concept goes back to Lieutenant Colonel Cooper, sort of basically saying throw a pop can at your target, and that will make it go down. I guess it goes. I've read / the internet tells me it stems back to the Americans in Somalia, and they had problems with 223 and stopping power. And so
Okay.
there was a big thing to have, put a big hole and a big piece of metal into something to make it stop on the first round. And so that's when some guy started experimenting with 458 SOCOM came out of that. And then from 458 SOCOM, we got 450 Bushmaster.
And so is 450 Bushmaster like the bigger version or the more powerful version of 458 SOCOM, or is it just more convenient?
They're pretty much about the same. They're shades of one another. So I think it's, and my notes are on a different computer, but I think it's 450 Bushmaster uses like a 452 diameter bullet, and 458 SOCOM uses a 456 diameter bullet. One is straight walled, one isn't, and I think that's why Bushmaster took off, because it's the straight walled one. And so you do have some.
Yeah, there's some states where you have to hunt with a straight walled cartridge. So in there, they get away with using an AR with a straight walled cartridge. And they're expecting like lever guns. No, AR.
Yeah, freedom. So yeah, that's why I think, because 450 Bushmaster is SAMI approved now, whereas SOCOM isn't. And same thing with 50 Beowulf. I don't think that's SAMI approved either. So that would also be something a guy should probably consider if he wants to do this, is, how comfortable are you with wildcats? Right?
Yeah.
SAMI,
getting brass that works, because the cool thing with 300 Blackout is you can take 223 brass and reshape it further. And I think you said the same thing about 6x45, right?
Yeah.
But some of these other ones are based on like 30 Remington or other nonsense that's not easy to get, and it takes like a bunch of steps to get there. You need to like fire form it, or get a bunch of sizing wax and run it through a couple of dies to get it to where you need to just fire it out of a semi-auto and have that like well prepped case like fly off into oblivion seems like it would drive me bonkers. Now, have you looked at the ballistics of like the 50 cal, like the 50 Beowulf, 458 versus like the 357 or even the 33 caliber stuff? Like, is there a lot of performance difference between those? Should you go with the smaller ones, or are the bigger ones just for bragging rights? Like,
so the bigger ones, the thumpers, like the 450s, Bushmaster, SOCOM, and there's another one out there and Beowulf, they all have very similar ballistics. And I'm going from memory here, but I think they're good basically out. You can rely on them out to about 200 meters in terms of accuracy, right?
And energy.
I think accuracy is more the function. Like, I think they're worse than 30-30 in terms of ballistics, and 30-30 is kind of I guess maybe, I don't know if it still is the gold standard for deer hunting, but everyone knows it.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you're throwing, like with those 45 caliber guys, you're throwing like a 300, 400 grain bullet downrange. You hit something, that's one hit, one stop kind of a thing, right?
Should just keep going through. I'm curious. I kind of like the 350 Legend because that one takes 357 Magnum bullets, and there's lots of selection of those things, and that would be a good short range cartridge to use. Just you're getting way better ballistics than a 357 Magnum, but you're getting it in a rifle. You're getting it with like cheap bullets, because if you want to, you could just use like the plain jacketed ones that you'd use in a 357, and they should have the stopping power for a deer.
Yeah, I think 350 Legend is straight walled too. And again, not that it matters here in Alberta or anywhere. Is there anywhere in Canada where you have to hunt with a straight walled cartridge? I don't think so.
No, I haven't heard anything like that. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it, like for me, I'm not afraid to experiment and try different things and hunt down some parts and the oddities. But if you want to experiment with a different cartridge, you sort of have to think of what your constraints are. How much effort are you willing to go to get this weird stuff? I did ask IBI a while ago about doing something like a 7.62 by 40 or whatever, and they said, well, they could if I sent them the reamers.
That's a no.
Well, apparently in the States anyway, there's a market for guys that buy reamers and then they rent them out, or they sell them, or you pay it forward kind of a thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a
Sisterhood of
thing in
the
States
traveling
for that.
reamer.
Yeah, oof, phrasing.
Yes, very much so.
But yeah, I wasn't willing to go there. But I'm pretty sure if you talk to like IBI or your local gunsmith, I mean, they'd be more than happy to bill you to get a new barrel. It might cost an arm and a leg, but yeah.
MSR 450 Bushmaster. Yo, that was an option with the ACR. Would it be possible to convert one of our 180s to 450 Bushmaster? I think the thing, like, to think about for Canada, if you're going to do a 180, is that it has to be a carbine length gas system on it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a full custom barrel.
Yeah.
Whatever you build, full custom. So you have to get like a blank, get the gas port drilled, everything that works to make something like that work.
And the other thing too to keep in mind with like those thumper cartridges is the ejection port. MRA has said, oh yeah, no, their ejection port is wide enough to handle the rebated rim, the fat case and that kind of a thing. I have no reason to not believe them, but I would definitely be getting out some calipers and checking out some drawings and diagrams and measuring the ejection port on like a 180, because it would really suck if you have this awesome gas-powered 450 Bushmaster, but the rounds aren't going to come up the ejection port.
Should pop out of there, right?
It should. This is the theory. Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah. There's some, if you just want to target shoot or whatever, I know there's like some smaller cal cartridges, like 20 practical, 20 tactical.
Those would be cool if you're a gopher shooting.
Yeah.
4,000 feet per second. Just a vaporizer.
I would question how long your barrel would last.
probably not long.
Yeah. Especially if you're doing gopher hunting in Alberta where it's prairie dogs as opposed to out here in Eastern Canada where they're bigger than cats and not as plentiful.
Yeah.
So if you're doing it in Alberta, you're shooting what, 200-300 typically.
I would probably just use a 223.
Exactly.
If I was shooting gophers and I had like an AR variant, I would just use a 223 because the ammo's cheaper. And if I'm shooting gophers or something like that, ball ammo, baby.
Yep. I don't know what else I can tell you about it. We could touch on the demon that is the whole magazine issue, the RCMP with dual purpose.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
a whole can of worms.
Yeah.
This is sure to piss off anyone that's listening that hasn't heard. But yeah, the RCMP saying things like, oh, the 50 Beowulf mags have to be limb locked to hold 2 rounds of 50, which then means that's, I don't know how many rounds of 223 that is, right?
That's 5.
Still 5? Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of 5 rounds of Beowulf, because that's what it's designed for in accordance with the law, which gives you, I think, 13 or 14 rounds of 223.
Depends on how it's pinned. If it's pinned in the back, it's about 11 to 12, maybe 13. But if it's pinned on the front of the mag, you can actually get the 15 in there.
Yeah.
So...
Hey, you wanted to open this can of worms.
Yeah, there's reasons why that. Yeah.
And of course, those mags are almost impossible to find now, too, right?
There's reasons why they're impossible to find as well.
Yeah.
So that hasn't been taken to court. The RCMP is still just, that's just their opinion.
Their bulletin on interpretation or whatever. Yeah.
Same
no
thing
one has been arrested with one of them. And sorry, go ahead, Kelly.
No, go ahead. It was an opinion, and that's also one of the reasons why they're no longer available to buy in most places as well.
Yeah.
Opinions. It's not law.
Yeah, well, no one wanted to bring them in, and Matthew and Owen didn't want the liability, so they stopped making them too.
So, well, on that note.
Which one are you trying next year, Tom?
I have my eye on the 450 Bushmaster.
Are you?
Yeah, largely because that's SAMI approved.
Mhm.
So I'm not a good gunsmith. So if something is screwed up, it would be nice to be able to say, okay, these are the specs, stick to the specs. Whereas like 458 SOCOM, yeah, that's not SAMI approved, so it's a wildcat, right? So you say you buy 458 SOCOM brass, but is it really?
I mean, I have
And-
in terms of getting barrels in Canada, I've only seen a couple of these even available.
Yeah.
I've seen 7.62 by 39. I've
Mhm.
seen 300 blackout. I've seen
Mhm.
6.5 Grendel. I don't know that I've seen any of these other ones. Have you seen a Beowulf barrel for sale here? I don't know that I have.
No.
Not for sale. I know someone who actually had one, and I shot it, and
Mhm.
it's kind of cool. But that was pre-ban.
Pre-ban when we had that kind of cool stuff, and you could just like build an upper that had some weird stuff on it, and have a one lower that, okay, we're done messing around with the weird stuff. Now I'll just put the 223 upper back on there.
Yeah.
And like if you do a lot of reading on it, like the 450 Bushmaster, it does seem like a lot of the guys in the US are picking it up for hunting. So it's also one of these things of there's got to be a reason to that. I guess the reason could just be collective stupidity. I don't know, but
Well, we are talking about the US, but
the fact, like, I know I can go into Cabela's and buy 450 Bushmaster, right?
Yeah,
if
it's going to
push
be
came to shove.
Yeah.
They have at Cabela's 450 Bushmaster.
They sell the Ruger Ranch every now and then, 450 Bushmaster. So I'm
yeah.
presuming they would also
Yeah.
stock ammunition.
Well,
So-
I mean, yes, I guess that's one other thing is like these aren't only just available in like an AR chamber. There's some bolt action rifles that take this kind of, and the Ruger Ranch I've seen in 300 blackout, 450 Bushmaster. I don't know if I've seen it in a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and there's some other interesting cartridges out there like the 6.8 SPC. You know, like that never seemed to have taken off. Probably the lack of military adoption, maybe because only certain places picked it up.
Yeah.
But that also seems like it could be a viable alternative if it just had better market penetration.
I don't like 27 caliber bullet. Like I liked my 270, but in terms of popularity, 20 like that is not a popular bullet size.
Yeah. And then another one I looked at was Valkyrie, 224 Valkyrie.
Yeah.
And I looked at that and I'm like, well, I can't hunt with it, so that kind of makes it useless to me as a guy who wants to do hunting with these kind of things. But then the more I looked at it, the more I'm like, this really just seems like someone said, let's take 223 and try and use it for longer distances.
Blowing up stuff. Yeah. Blowing up the animals you shoot. Brandon was mentioning that RDSC has some 450 Bushmaster barrels in stock, 16-inch. Now that would work.
Satan, why do you tempt me?
How much are those? Bushmaster RDSC.
Those that are interested in what is RDSC, it's Red Deer Shooting Center.
Oh, they got some ammo too. It's pricey, $50 for 20 rounds.
Oh, hello.
Faxon Firearms. Oh, it's $400. It's carbine length gas. Ooh, but it would be restricted because it's 16-inch.
Unless you put it on your straight pull.
Well, but I can't pull it on a gas-operated MSR. I have to put it on a straight-pulled MSR these days.
Yes.
Yes.
In this country, anyway. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Is 450 Bushmaster straight wall? It looks like it is.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh, so that like in a straight pull, that's going to be a bugger trying to.
It might.
Trying to yard it. Well, if 6.5 Grendel is, this is going to be because it's humongous.
Another cartridge that caught my eye was Hornady came out in 2020 with the 6.5 ARC. Advanced Rifle Cartridge, I think is what ARC stands for. And it kind of, if I remember correctly, it's kind of like they took the 6 Dasher and then they did some tweaks to make it AR suitable. And it had the same weight of, like the same range and weight of bullets as the Grendel. But because of the different case design, you got slightly better pressure or more reasonable pressure for an AR. And it looked like it would be good for like shooting and hunting. Because you could get the distance, you'd have the higher velocity, so that would make it a little bit better for target shooting. And yeah, you're throwing down a 6.5 millimeter slug, right? So you're probably looking in the neighborhood of 120, 140 grain rounds.
Well, and then I guess if you really want to raise the the specter of this, why not just go to the 308 sized action? Then you've got 308, 6.5, 243.
I like to tinker.
Loads of power.
I like to tinker. I like to mess around with this stuff. And like my Renegade in 6x45 is so light.
Yeah, it would be lighter and smaller.
Yeah. Like as a guy who used to hunt with like a 98K. Yeah, it's so much lighter.
True. Interesting. Anything else to mention?
Not really. I mean, I like the 6x45. I'm hoping it is good for deer. The brass is everywhere. 6mm projectiles, thanks to PRS. You can find them now. They're pretty common to find, and you basically there's a lot of overlap with the powders that you would use with 223
or
6x45.
243, right? Same bullets.
Same bullets, but smaller case. So I think you need a faster burning powder, right? Yeah, I don't know. It's fun to shoot. It's easy to reload. It's cheap to reload.
Is it easy finding hunting bullets? Because like the 243, I know you're going to find hunting bullets in the 100 grain size, but that's pretty long for a 6x45, right?
Yeah. Well, an MSR base, like a modern sporting rifle base.
Yeah. Because you don't have the case length to use there. So, and that's why you're using that 80 grain TPSX,
right?
Yeah.
I tried the Nosler. I think it's Nosler, and who else? Nosler makes a 90, and Hornady makes a 95, or is it the other way around? And I tried those, and it just seems like they don't group well at the range, which debatably isn't important when you're deer hunting, but
yeah, good to get your rounds on target. Cool.
Yeah. It helps.
It helps. It's everything. It's everything on deer. Like I'm saying, like the 223 would be fine as long as you keep your shots within a reasonable distance and your provincial regulations allow for it. I think you wouldn't need anything else. It would be fine. I don't like those other ones are going to leave a bigger hole, but 223 with a soft point or a copper bullet or something like that's going to do it as well.
Yeah.
If only it was allowed. Yeah. Awesome. Well, Tom, thanks for coming on and discussing your experimentations with some of the alternative cartridges that are out there. I think I learned a bunch, like the fact that 450 Bushmaster is available in stock at RDSC. So good to know. Good to know.
Now everybody's going to be rushing there, and there's going to be zero in stock. Tom,
awesome.
Always lovely to see you. Well, virtually, hopefully in person at some point.
Yeah, at some point. Well, if hopefully I've enabled someone and spread the disease so that someone else will try some of these weirder cartridges and share their experiences, so I don't have to pay for it all myself.
I like to hear from some people who have tested out some of the Wildcat, see what their thoughts and on them, because why not? There's unique people out there.
Yeah,
Mom, you're one of them.
My mom says I'm cool.
I think that you're cool too, but then again, I'm probably old enough to be your mom. Okay.
Probably not. I think we're the same age.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on, Tom, and telling us all about the different AR cartridge alternatives.
All right. Take care. Catch you later, guys.
Bye,
Thanks.
Tom.
Thanks again to Tom for coming on. Actually, one thing that he had made mention of, just that he made mention just on the comments there, was he said he forgot to mention, get the tools to change the barrels, the torque wrench, the grease for the barrel nut, something to hold the receiver secure while you're changing barrels. The straight pull rifles may require a different reaction rod than the modern sporting rifles. You might need something different. Don't just put it on the carpet in your basement and like reef on it, because you might end up twisting the action. And that's no good. I've done some on the carpet in my basement and not twisted the action yet. But I guess it's only a matter of time, right?
And you didn't die.
I didn't die. No one died. I've got the right tools now, but it just makes it easier to put the torque on. But you can still put them on the ground. Listener feedback. I don't think we got any emails over the weekend. So
did not.
or week that we're gone. So No emails, nothing on Facebook, YouTube. Kyle, do you want to get to the YouTube comments?
Sure. We got on last episode, Henry saying, if you can believe it, the Piat is not even a rocket launcher. It functions more like a mortar, but against tanks. And then Pat Dudd was commenting on your first look at the Bren 2. Said, sweet rifle, but you must really be confident with the conservative that the conservative will be in power next election. Me, I'm thinking about selling a few controversial non-restricted stuff. And there was a few comments below, but episode 514, Eddie was saying grouse a la Bordy by
Like
Chef Adriel.
Chef Boyardee.
Yeah.
Boyardee, yeah. L-finger triggers on the Bren 2. Dang, 37 US. They make you all put that long barrel on it. I have a 14-inch barreled one. I love that thing more than my other guns. That includes my Scar, Spear LT, etc., etc. And someone did correct him saying that was 3,700 Canadian.
And if we wanted to, we could run the 11-inch barrel for like I think they were getting them in country for $2,400, but it's restricted.
Yeah.
And we don't want that.
No.
And you can't do this. Because if you've got the 14-inch barrel one, you put a stock on it, all of a sudden you got to get your tax stamp for that thing now, right?
Yeah.
I just get the tax stamp. Who cares? It's $200. It's prohibitive when they got it, but since they've never updated that fee, it's not so bad.
Well, and it's not like a restricted where now you can only use it at the range. It's a tax stamp. Still use it like the rest of your other guns.
If only.
Yep. And then we got a couple from Eddie on episode 515. Adriel might want to reconsider dragging his deer with a horse. It would end up in rough shape in short order if you have to go over branches and rocks.
I've dragged a ton of deer, and the thing is, in Alberta in November, there's always snow on the ground. Always. There's been a couple of times I've hunted without snow, but almost always there's snow. And if there's snow on I've dragged tons of deer. If I'm dragging, you tie them up by the head to make sure that the fur is going the correct direction. You're not pulling against it. But I've dragged a ton of deer, short distances, like a kilometer, and they're fine.
Yep.
Maybe the hides are like thicker on them, or like the fur is thicker and the snow is like slicker, and they drag just fine.
Yeah. And then he also commented, Kyle, aren't you going to break in your new shoes and train with them before using them in a match? And Adriel, does your dog bark if a stranger approaches your house? So,
I will not answer that question out of OPSEC.
Yeah.
As far as the shoes, now I'm sure someone's going to chime in and correct me, but with a lot of, especially with like running shoes and that, with the higher end shoes, there is no break in. At least in the last time I was buying like higher end quality running shoes, there was no break in. And also, it's not like I'm running a marathon or something. It's a quick little run through a stage and that's it. So no, I just wore them in a match and that's it. I will wear them next weekend in a long match as well and probably be just fine.
My dogs are barking. There's somebody at the door. So
your dogs bark if someone approaches.
yeah.
Mine just silently kill. They don't bark. They silently kill anyone at the door. For the RCMP officer that's listening.
So wasn't that the episode that we were talking about the fitness match? Want to know if you're going to break in your running shoes? Sorry, I have a spicy dip.
Was that? I can't remember if that was the same episode that I got.
I'll break from you, Kyle. I would wear my shoes for a day before doing a match because sometimes I find out that my shoes don't breathe and my feet sweat like crazy. And wearing them all day would be just a nightmare. So I want to test my shoes before.
Yeah.
Well, I did put them on, but I mean, you could tell like the top of them, they were going to breathe. They weren't the Gore-Tex waterproof ones. Mm-hmm. And, I put them on, tighten them up, see how the heel feels and everything, if it's going to slip out and how tight I got to have them. But yeah, no, I didn't go run a few miles or anything like that. It's just put them on and go to work.
Cool.
Mm.
If I was to use them for a marathon, yeah, I might do some little training runs
around.
beforehand before just.
You'd do that. You'd tape your nipples. You'd do all sorts of things if you're going to run a marathon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Otherwise, they bleed.
this is true.
they didn't on the half, but
It's
I can
horrible.
see it's double the distance. Yeah.
Mhm. How did we get onto bleeding nipples?
Because marathons, chafing from your shirt.
Yes. Okay. We've done.
Do we have another comment to take us off this one?
No,
Please.
that is it for
That's
YouTube.
out? Okay, I'm just
We
gonna
get
keep
to
pushing
end
forward.
on that.
Let's just keep pushing onwards and upwards and digging up. Let's dig up. Instagram, nothing over there. Discord. I have not been watching our Discord as we've been talking here.
There's been nothing new on Discord.
All right.
Well, Discord, if you do want to leave us a
No.
little something, that's how we came up with tonight's topic.
And
Yeah.
they had mentioned that Mendocino was going to be off, and Chris is mentioning it. Please let it be the 22 gauge lady. Yeah. Sorry to disappoint, but they don't have them. And actually, Tony had mentioned that if you're looking for the Magpul PMag 27 big sticks, Bullseye's got them for 10% cheaper than the straight price. So if you're looking for the long boy mags, they got them for $35 at Bullseye. So we do read it sometimes after thinking about it, but yeah, it's over there. Moving on. If you want to buy something from Cabela's, like from their Wild Wednesdays, maybe that scope that I bought that
Buy the scope.
is of unknown quality, $200 for a scope and a mount.
Yeah.
Like those burst pepper mounts are $100 just by themselves. So I have low expectations going into this. Anyways, if you're gonna buy one, oh yeah, definitely buy one, and use our link on the side of our website to buy it first. Thanks to our supporters on Patreon and Player. We were engaging with people on Player today. That was where some of our comments were coming from. Shoots well from a Taurus Raging Judge. Oh, that's what you need the 410 for. The 410 shells are for shooting out of a Taurus Raging Judge. You should get one of those now that you can.
That would be Kyle. That's not
Mhm.
Adriel or myself.
Not the rest of us. No,
No.
we can't get those. We're not
Kyle.
cool enough.
There's lots of stuff I should/need to get.
Yeah.
It's all time.
All time.
Lots of
Time
money.
and money.
Yeah.
So here's the
Yep.
expectation. Every time we do a show, you come up and you buy something new and you
I have
a
to
new
buy a
gun.
new gun.
Oh.
I would love to be able to do that.
Or another like thing that we just can't get here. Like, look, guys, I got another
Well, see,
suppressor.
I was trying to tone it down because Kelly was starting to show her pissed offness the last few times, or I think she was avoiding the show because she didn't want to see stuff.
I didn't want to be jealous.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Uh,
Kyle, I am in sorry. Excuse me, I got a little bit of a clumped. I am going to fully support you on anything that you buy. Just because you can.
Tony's
Well,
calling
thank you.
for
That
me to
is-
get a 50
50 cal,
50
yeah.
50 DMG.
50
Yeah.
cal, 50 cal.
50
With the
cal,
Serbu.
50 cal. Oh, the screw-in
Serbu
pipe bomb.
with the slap rounds. I gotta do that, yeah. That's the recommendation, I'm guessing.
Yeah, keep a couple
Yeah.
of extra people around with thumbs because you're gonna need
Yes,
them.
a couple extra thumbs around.
Make sure you wear your eye protection as well, please.
Oh, it did its job, that's for sure.
It did do the job.
Yeah, you're gonna need that.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd like to email the show, send an email to slamfireradio@gmail.com or comment on one of the many streaming services we stream on. And shout outs. Kelly?
No,
Kyle?
go to Kyle first because I got to think about it for a second. I do have a shout out, but
Shout out to the Roswell crew. They looks like I wish I could have shot the match. It looked like a really fun match. They picked some good classifiers, but they good. And shout out to everybody out there.
I got a shout out. Actually, I don't have a shout out. I have a recommendation.
okay.
Hoplop. So there's been a couple of reviews on the Crew Arms Temp. TFB, the firearms blog, they did a review of the Crew Arms on their site, and I think it's better. That's that Hoplop file guy that does like the night vision reviews and shits on anything he doesn't like.
Okay.
It's good. It's finally a good review of it. Substitute on player was asking, Kyle, if you ever decide to move back, can you bring every gun with you?
Not anymore. No.
No.
Nope.
Not even close to it.
That would be it. No.
Well, no, all except for. Well, I can't bring that up, or that's I think I'm sitting about like 3 or 4 right now. Well, 2 full guns. I got a 308 upper sitting there that I couldn't bring. My paperweights that escaped, I couldn't bring back. My upper that escaped, couldn't bring back.
How is it for exporting parts from Canada to the US? Can I just mail stuff?
I believe so. Like ITAR worries about stuff leaving. I don't think they really care too much about it. I don't know. I don't know the answer, but I know that ITAR they more or less care about stuff leaving the country than.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that. Go and check out our export.
Yeah. I know Tristan was saying he could send stuff down here.
I'm pretty sure I could learn about our export laws by just putting stuff in the mail and seeing what I get charged with.
Well, you could do that, yeah.
That'd be correct.
That is a potential.
Yes.
What can I get to Kyle in the mail that he can resell? Let's find out. It's an experiment.
Well, I know, like, when I was driving down, they didn't care about what parts or anything. It was just the ammo and the serialized firearm. And that's where the Form 6 NEA or NIA would come in. Everything else they didn't even check for.
Just for the purpose
of just your produce, how much cash you got, and then your firearms ammo. Which even the ammo, they never checked my ammo. They just looked at my guns, checked the serial number, compared them with my Form 6, and there you go.
Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
Bob's your uncle. I think this is the correct time to remind our CSIS operator that's watching that this show is for entertainment purposes only.
Yes.
We're not actually
It's
recommending
fun
any
to
of
cross
this.
the border with firearms and ammo. They always,
I always have my paperwork in order crossing the border.
I get held up more at the American side because they want to talk guns, right? And coming back over the Canadian side, they have no idea what they're talking about.
But I got it right here.
Give me more hassle coming back.
But I don't get. I think I've only ever been pulled over into secondary twice, and they didn't know what they were talking about. So anyway.
Yeah, the one time was fun not fun. It was fine, but they kept asking me if I had my registration certificate for my modern environment, and I said no. It's no, I don't have one for it because it's non-restricted. Don't need it. Okay, you have your registration certificate for this? No, I don't need it. It doesn't exist.
Tell me again. It's non-restricted. Okay. All right. I do want to give a shout out to all the ladies who came and participated this past weekend in the CCFR Gunny Girl calendar photo shoot, and also the photographers as well as the volunteers that helped out. I am super incredibly thankful for Anna McIntosh, who's spearheading / project lead this year. I'm not. I just get to hold the camera or lights or go and do makeup,
massage in the oil,
or whatever, right? So
it's a tough job. Someone's got to do it.
I know. So I just want to say thanks to all the ladies, because without them, we wouldn't be able to put a calendar together, and without the calendar, we wouldn't be able to do all the lady shoots that we sponsor. So
cool.
Yeah.
All right. Finally, join our Discord server. Watch us on Facebook, YouTube, and Player. Join the CCFR. We'll see you next week.
Yep. See you next week.
Bye, Mo. Have a good night. Is it good night, Mike? No. Bye. No. Who's Matt? Okay, there's Matt. There's Mike. Who's Mike? Do I know a Mike?
Yeah,
Mike.
Mike.
You got too many hoes in different area codes, Kelly. Can't even get them straight.
Mo. Good night, Mo. Okay. I feel better now.
We're on 516 or 5. We're on 517.
I don't know. What are we? Okay.
It's also not
so-
I read
19.
the show notes and
Oh, it's Adriel's host to turn. Host to turn?
That's my
Host
host
to turn, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.